Hi everybody, it's Angela and I am back with another process video. And first of all, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who reached out after my last layout about the wildfires here in Oregon. Luckily it has started raining here, so even though the fires aren't completely out, they are becoming contained. So I think fire season is pretty much over now. So thank goodness for that. And after the fires and the riots and the COVID restrictions, I just really wanted to do a layout that was just kind of fun and whimsical. So I am starting a childhood memory album. And this first part of my album is going to be about cartoons that I would watch. Now, I don't have any pictures of my brother and I watching cartoons or anything like that. You didn't waste pictures on things like that back in the day. But I do have this picture of my brother and I playing in front of our television set that we watched cartoons on for many years. And then I also have this little mini album set that I had gotten from Saw Crafters. Now sadly she is no longer in business, so I can't link anywhere to purchase this or anything, but I thought I would go ahead and use one of the pages of it on this layout because I liked the retro TV thing. And what's great about this album, I think, is that I'm going to be able to use a lot of my pocket pages and a lot of my project life cards that I haven't been using enough. So I'm going to do an introductory layout. This is my introductory layout for cartoons. And so I thought I would go ahead and highlight Scooby-Doo, which was my favorite cartoon. And so I pulled out some images from the internet, and that's a good thing a good tool to use when you're scrapbooking something that you either don't have any pictures for, or you just have, like this one, a little tiny picture that, it's not really of us watching cartoons, but it's of the TV set. And the way to beef that up is to either use product that is in the same theme, like that chipboard television, or to get images off the internet, that will help tell your story more. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. And so I pulled these items, but I realized my picture was kind of getting lost. So I do wind up resizing it to fit in that TV, and I use the TV to really highlight my actual photo. But at this point, I'm just kind of moving stuff around, trying to figure out, how I'm going to lay this out and how this is going to work. But I realized that, I didn't really have enough color on here. I wanted it to be a little brighter because these are cartoons. And so I think, I'm going to just kind of run with this. And so I go back and I print out a few more Scooby-Doo images. And one of the images I find is of the gang inside the Mystery Machine, this one here. And I love that bright green with the orange daisy on the front. And so I figured I'd kind of go with this retro groovy daisy theme, and I found this piece of paper that I had that was already shaped like a big flower. I don't know what company this is by, but I'm just going to use it as a template and trace it onto this green cardstock, and that's going to really help bring a focal point to the center of my page that I can put that large fussy cut Scooby-Doo on. So yeah, let me know in the comments what your favorite cartoon was, if you like Scooby-Doo, or what your favorite one to watch was, what era of cartoons you were watching. I mostly watched in the 70s, early 80s and stuff. But even then there was reruns of cartoons from the 60s. So some of the cartoons that I highlight in my pocket pages might be a little bit before my time, but they were the rerun cartoons that I was watching. But Scooby-Doo actually came out, I believe, in 1969. So almost about the time that photograph of my brother and I was taken. So I grew up watching the classic Scooby-Doo. I didn't really care for Scrappy-Doo or Scooby's kind of country cousin sometimes that would make an appearance. I liked this classic Scooby-Doo mystery thing. So that is going to be kind of my layout there. Here I've resized the photo, so that just, the TV and that little bit larger photo just really kind of makes that more of a focal point. And then I also printed out a title from the show and kind of fussy cut that out. So I'm going to use that as the title. And so that's pretty much what my layout's going to be. Now I bought this folder. Anytime I see these clear acetate folders at the dollar store where they're easy to cut out images, I go ahead and buy one because that's a lot of scrapbooking embellishments for $1 if you look at it that way. And since it kind of mimicked the orange daisy on the front of the van, I thought I'd go for it, but in the end I do wind up taking these daisies back off. I mean, looking at it here on the screen, it's not too bad, but in real life the daisies were really bright and it was just a little bit too chaotic even for me. So that's pretty much the only thing I change at the very end is taking those daisies off, and then I do add an enamel shape inside that circle dial on the TV. But otherwise, yeah, it's pretty much, this is going to be the layout. I do put the van up on foam tape. Since I had already fussy cut it out into a specialty shape, I thought I'd go ahead and pop it up, where the others are all rectangles, so I just put them flat down to the page. Now I thought about gluing this down and fussy cutting out all the interior shapes, but see all those slots for the speaker? I knew there would be no way I could really cut those out very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover the face of the TV, and I'm going to cut out a little rectangle for the dial and speaker section. That way I won't have to individually cut out all those slots out of the paper. So I go ahead and I use the corners of this cutout to kind of mimic the same radius corners on my cutout. And I get it pretty good. It's kind of wonky, but you know, this whole television set is a little wonky. It kind of has that 50s retro feel to it. So I go ahead and I get that done. And then I just take my craft knife and I cut around that and cut those two sections out. I'm going to back the dial and the slots with that same yellow paper that I used as a border strip over on the left hand side of my layout. So that kind of brings that yellow over into the center. And then I have this dark brown ink. It's almost looks black here. That everything that's not covered by paper is just going to be this dark brown ink. I could have embossed everything with silver embossing, you know, especially like the little antenna and stuff, and I thought about it, but I didn't want to add a metallic into this layout since it already had so much other stuff going on, and I thought the brown would match in with the brown of Scooby-Doo, so I just go with the brown ink on this. So that's pretty much how my television set's going to look. So that's pretty good. And again, I'm going to put the yellow back behind the dial and the speaker. So this album, yeah, I'm going to do food, fashion, toys, movies, all kinds of things, and just have fun reminiscing and telling little stories and using up some photos that I might not necessarily scrapbook on their own, can go into this album, you know, in context with the story I'm telling. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And you guys will see, we'll walk down memory lane with me, so that'll be fun. All this retro stuff. We get to talk about Tang and Spam and all those kinds of good things. So this is pretty much my layout. I wanted to add a few more things, so I went and pulled this October afternoon, Saturday morning collection. I have a couple pieces of it. It does have a little bit of television set items in it, along with a lot of breakfast items. And I found these two little word fragments, one that says stay tuned and another that says my favorite. So I just go ahead and put those in there. and I'm liking that. And then I was thinking about what other texture I was going to add. So I do pull some enamel dots and I look through finding ones in like yellow, green, orange, colors that match my layout. And I go ahead and I use the turquoise ones and I put one on each of those daisy cutouts. But like I said, I do wind up taking those daisies off. And you'll see my finished layout at the very end of this video. But before then, I'm going to go ahead and start on my pocket pages. So this is the first pocket page. It's going to have the cartoons. The next pocket page has the kind of live actor and puppet children's shows. So I'm going to work on those two. And like I said, this is just a great way for me to use up these pocket pages and a lot of my Project Life cards. So, and also like these little labels that I have and other small embellishments, you know, kind of made for Project Life that I don't use as often as I should. So I just put a lot of the images I tried to find where it had the name in the picture, like where it says Snagglepuss up there, up above. This Chilly Willy didn't have the name on there, so I went ahead and put a label with Chilly Willy. And I loved that little penguin, especially when it would cry and little ice cubes would come out. It would just break my heart. But I also put down about, you know, Looney Tunes, and hearing that little theme song coming on, I knew I was going to see some great cartoons. And I put a little memory of sitting on my dad's lap while he would drink coffee and we would discuss, you know, the coyote trying to get the Roadrunner and, you know, how it was going to mess up or what he was trying to build in order to capture that Roadrunner. And so it was just a nice memory of me and my dad when I was little. And I put that on there. And I try to capture some memories of each thing where I can. Sometimes it's just maybe the song that I remember. So I try to put little sayings. Like on this one I put like Wonder Twin powers activate, you know, what they would say when they would do their fist bump there. And then up on the top ones like Snagglepuss, I put like exit stage left. And on Huckleberry Hound, I put down the fact that he would sing the Oh My Darling Clementine all the time. And so I would sing that as a little kid, probably drove my mom nuts singing that song. I don't know if you guys remember any of those cartoons or not. Let me know if you do. Yogi and Boo Boo, I put a label there putting their the title of the show on there, but my brother could do a great impersonation of, you know, Yogi Bear, you know, hey Boo Boo, let's go get a picnic basket, you know, that kind of stuff, you know, little tiny memories like that of my brother. And so I went ahead and I think wrote about that. And then that dog and cat there on the right, I don't know, I think that was like a one-off cartoon where the kitty, he thinks it dies and gets baked into a kitty-shaped cookie and he's really sad. And I just loved that cartoon. And the kitty didn't die and he would let it sleep on his back and stuff like that. And then just some memories of different Flintstones episodes that I remembered. The Flintstones weren't my favorite cartoon, but they were on every afternoon, so you kind of got inundated with them whether you liked them or not. And that Martian, I don't know why they had an alien on Flintstones. It was just bizarre, huh? And then there was Schoolhouse Rock. I don't remember if any of you guys remember, you know, Conjunction Junction or Interplanet Janet, or I think I had the Jetsons down there too. Here we've got Lippy Lion and Hardy Har Har and Casper the Friendly Ghost. And then even though I know I had Looney Tunes on the other page on the previous side, I do have that one Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck item just because I remember those particular episodes. So I put images from those on there. let's see. Oh, this is Jabberjaw. Remember, his voice was a little annoying, but he would say, no respect and stuff like that. So I put that on there. I've got Rocky and Bullwinkle. I loved Bullwinkle's voice. Whoever did the voice for Bullwinkle. Loved that. So I'm getting to use up all these little label pieces that I've had in my stash. So that's been really great. I know I had the Super Friends on the previous page, but I really liked Aquaman, and I loved it when he'd ride on the seahorses. I always wished I could ride a seahorse. And then Muttley, how many of you guys can laugh like Muttley? It was fun to try. And this little orange monster, I loved when Bugs Bunny, did a manicure on its hands and styled his hair and stuff. I just, just those little things that you remember. So I'm trying to put down, just having the cartoons on there is one thing, but putting down a memory of them or something that it sparks really makes it more personal and special to whoever reads this in the future. Let's see, I think I've got Speed Buggy and Josie and the Pussycats. And, it's like everybody had to have a band in their cartoon back then. I think like Jabberjaw, didn't he have the Neptunes? There was the Archies. Even in Scooby-Doo, they'd have those rock band kind of scenes during the chase scene. And so, you had to have a band or at least music in all your cartoons back then. Then, of course, I had a little bit of Popeye and stuff also. And then this is the live action or the live actor and puppet section. So, watching in the 70s, I was what is that? Was it Sid and Marty Krofft? Or, yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was a little creepy, some of them, but like Lidville, I don't know. I don't think I have that one on. I don't think I have Lidville in here, but I've got the Bugaloos. I've got Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. I've got this one here, which was Electra Woman and Dinah Girl, who had a great car. The Bugaloos, I go ahead and I write the little theme song because I would sing the theme song all the time. The Bugaloos, they're in the air and everywhere. That kind of stuff. So I go ahead and I put that. Sorry for my bad singing. And we loved Batman and Robin, and I have even the villains on there too. They had a great Batmobile. I loved all the POW and stuff they would put on there. I put a little memory that my mom told me of me running into the room to tell her that Robin said, "Holy Canal Guadal," because I didn't know what Guadalcanal was, and I kind of got it all mixed up. So again, that's just another memory. Below that, I have Gilligan's Island, because pretty much everyone knows Gilligan's Island. And there's just so many episodes of that were my favorites. I couldn't even write them all down. I mean, I even still remember, Pulusi Bagumba and, the Kupakais and, yeah, all that stuff. So, yeah, there was just too much to write down that I remembered for Gilligan's Island. And then at the bottom, I've got Isis and Shazam. I put them on the same card because they were kind of the same, the immortals granting them power. And then the new zoo review, I'm not sure if that was a Sid and Marty Krofft creation, but it was a little creepy. But they did roller skate and they had an elevator on there, so I liked it as a kid. I don't think I have HR Puffin stuff in here, but I might have to add that. That's the great thing, is I can come back and, add more stuff later. And, do inserts and things like that. And so now on the other side, now I do have Wonder Woman here. I don't have the Incredible Hulk. So I'm going to have to add that. And some of these might go into my TV shows later, like the Brady Bunch and stuff like that. So there'll be a whole TV show section. This one's Bumpity, which was a local Portland, Oregon puppet show. And then our KPTV Channel 12 here had a Ramblin' Rod children's hour where the kids would go down, and that was where they presented the morning cartoons. So those are kind of two local things. And then of course there's the Muppet Show. I mean, we all love the Muppets. I used to have a plush Kermit, and I also had a puppet Miss Piggy. And then Captain Kangaroo. I don't know if you've seen that with Dancing Bear and Mr. Green Jeans and all the ping pong balls and stuff like that. So here we've got Wonder Woman. I didn't put Green Lantern in. I liked Green Lantern too, but he didn't wind up being in here. And then you got above Lost in Space, which could have gone into the TV shows, but somehow ended up in here. Got Wonder Bug, which I think was another Sid and Marty Krofft. Yeah, I think those guys must have been high when they did all those children's shows, because some of them were pretty weird. I've got Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, of course, and Sesame Street. Got to have them. So this was just like so much fun to think about all these shows, to have these memories, to put them down, to bring them all into one spot, and to use up all these supplies that, you know, I have in my stash. So I think it's going to be fun when I go through, you know, different foods and different kitchen appliances and different furnishings, and when I get into the clothing era, you know, of all the, you know, flare-legged jeans and Mork and Mindy suspenders and leg warmers and stuff like that. So anyhow, I'm having fun with it. Here's my finished layout. You can see I took off the plastic daisies and I added that star in the center of the dial. So I'm just kind of give a little bit of a close-up, and I did my journaling on there. So this is kind of my introductory page to all of this cartoon section. And it's a way to bring all these memories together, even though I don't actually have photographs to, you know, talk about these. So there is some of the close-ups of those. Now, are there any cartoons that I missed that you remember watching during this time frame? I'd love to hear what some of you guys' favorites are and what you remember. So those are the cartoon items, and then here are the live actor, Land of the Lost, Newsy Review, yep, just a lot of great memories. So it'll be fun, you know, for other people my age, friends that come over who want to look through these this album, and we'll have fun discussing it. And yeah, it'll make a great little coffee table book sort of thing. So anyhow, that is my finished layout. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I'd love to hear your comments and your favorite cartoons and stuff. And if you have any questions, just let me know below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.